So are you doing Sober October?
Is that really a thing?
Sober October?
Yeah.
Yeah, just like No Shave November.
Why do we come up with this shit? Why can't it just be fucking October?
It
And
was.
if you have a drinking problem, don't drink. No matter what month it is.
It rhymes.
It was just October.
I wish there was something every month. I need my life to be themed.
God damn!
Okay, shit. Sober October. Are you doing it?
No. I was just wondering if
No,
you were.
I'm not.
I'm not doing that.
I'm not looking for that kind of commitment.
Not looking for that kind of lifestyle.
Yeah.
I'm already going to need more coffee.
Oh, good. I need to start chugging mine, but I will. I drink a lot when you're talking, and then I'm like, hi! So, this is like a really exciting episode for us. And that is because we finally actually published our podcast.
We did!
Yeah.
And there's people that are actually listening.
Which is fucking awesome. I mean, aside from the fact, like, our friends and, like, spouses who were, like, forcing to listen,
yeah.
it's cool to see, like, other people are actually giving us a shot.
Can we give a little shout out to Kimmy? Because I love her.
Fuck yeah. And how about Lexi?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both fucking awesome and, like, listened day of, tweeted at us, let us know what's up. How fucking excited were you when,
Fucking Carl.
Carl's excited too. Kimmy, Carl says hi. But anyway, by the time we actually publish this, it'll be a couple weeks later, right? Because we're like 2 behind, right? 2 episodes behind. Or we have 2 episodes in the chamber, as we call it in the biz.
Ooh, do we?
You don't know that, but we do.
I didn't know that.
Now
I'm
you
new
do.
in the biz.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Anyway, so thanks, guys and gals.
We really appreciate you.
We don't just appreciate you.
We appreciate you.
Fucking exactly. Okay, what is your goddamn? Give me your goddamn, Aaron.
Well, I will tell you.
Okay, good.
The other day I came home from work and I was so hungry because I didn't eat anything all day. I didn't have breakfast. I didn't have lunch. And I had Mexican food in the fridge, though. And I was like, I'm going to get that.
Like leftover taco shop?
Yeah.
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 So you're thinking about it all day long.
I was
like,
thinking about it all day long.
What was it, a quesadilla?
No, it was carne asada fries.
Okay, so fucking gonna crush that.
Yeah, I was about it. And I get home and the baby's asleep. And so the husband's there and he's like, sup? And I was like, sup? And he's like, I'll heat up your Mexican food for you. And I was
Ew.
like, first of all, you're gross.
No. No.
Yes.
No.
You have to heat it up. That's
No.
disgusting.
Don't
Be
don't
gross.
reheat meat. In the microwave weirds me out. Just eat it cold. It's
No.
better.
No.
And fries?
Yeah, I want
outta
it to
here
be
with
hot and just like mush in my mouth.
Ugh, there's like guacamole on there.
It turns black. It looks horrific.
I can get behind eating the black guacamole a day later. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
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 But
Well,
just not
at any rate.
reheated. Okay.
Well, you're gross. Anyway, he was like, I'll heat it up for you. And I was like, thanks. This is why I married you. You are my dream come true.
My
But-
prince.
My prince, my flame, my muse. But also do it quickly because I was getting hangry as fuck.
Oh no.
And so he's like, no problem. So then he also opened a Corona, cut a lime, and was
Oh,
like, I got this going
shit.
for you. Yeah.
Somebody wanted something.
Right? Exactly. So then he is balancing my beer and he got himself a glass of water. Selfish. And he had my plate on top of the glass of water.
I know where this is going.
And my plate was piled really high because I didn't eat a lot of my carne asada fries.
Oh no.
He was walking out of the kitchen and it just, quote, slipped off
Yep.
of the glass.
Yep.
Landed fucking carne asada down because that's the laws of gravity.
It is.
And I legitimately almost cried.
Oh no.
I was so mad.
Oh god.
And he was like, I can salvage it. And I was
yeah,
like,
just pick it up and throw it back on there really fast.
yeah. So I just kind of buried my face in the couch because I was like all cuddled in with the new Joe Rogan special and just, I was
Like, this
I
is
was
my
just
moment.
Ready. It
Yeah.
was minutes away.
Yeah.
Minutes away from the best time of my life.
Yeah.
And then I hear like, oh shit. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
Oh man.
So he's like, I can salvage it. And I was like, are you, okay, whatever, like, salvage it then. And then, I don't know, like 4 seconds goes by and he's like, I can't salvage this.
Oh no.
Yeah, like, legitimately looked at him with tears in my eyes and was like, I'm going to cry right now. I'm so hungry, and this is all I wanted, and, like, freaking out. And then he's like, I'll go get you taco shop. I was like, thanks.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he did. What's yours?
Okay, so mine is, I have these reoccurring dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And they happen more often than I like to admit. But I had, like, 2 of them this week, and it's fucking me up. And I think a lot of it has to do with, like, stress of life and work and everything. And then this podcast, I'm, like, Googling dark-ass shit all the time.
Oh, God.
So it's, like, in my head, I have a very overactive imagination. But this reoccurring dream, what happens is I'll be, like, you know, doing my dream, doing whatever, like, random shit is going on in my dream. And then I am in bed trying to go to sleep, and then I'll realize that I'm dreaming. And the reason I realize I'm dreaming is because I get really scared. Like, it's super dark in the room in my dream, and it feels like someone's coming in or something's at the foot of the bed or something like that.
Oh,
and then so I'll realize I'm dreaming, and I'm like, fuck, okay, if I just wake up, I can get out of the scary dream. But I can't wake up. It's like I'm lucid dreaming, but I can't get out of it. And so in my dream, I'll, like, curl up and close my eyes and, like, no, like, just wake up, like, trying to force my body to, like, physically wake up, and it never works. And then I can feel the thing, like, touch my shoulder or touch parts of my body. Sometimes it's, like, my back, and I think in, like, real life I'm having, like, a muscle spasm or something. But it'll be, like, I feel something touching me, and it kind of sears me or gives you, like, the heebie-jeebies. Like, it freaks me out, and I start screaming in the dream because I feel like if I scream loud enough, I'll wake myself up. And then usually I start screaming in real life because it works. And then I'll wake up to Lee either shaking me because I'm screaming. So he's like, and by the way, Lee is my husband. So he'll be shaking me, and that's what will wake me up. Or I'm just screaming for so long because he's such a heavy sleeper. I'll just scream for so long that I actually hear myself, and then I finally wake up, which is great, right? Like, now I'm out of the dream.
Jesus.
It is seriously the scariest thing ever. I'm laying in bed then in real life, wide awake, and I'm scared. Like, as an adult, I feel like I want to run to my parents' room and wake somebody up to be like, just be awake with me.
Oh, no.
Because it is that real and that scary, and, like, it freaks me out. So then I'm always like, okay, like, calm down. It's just a dream. Your brain is crazy. Everything's fine. And then I'll start to, like, relax and go back to sleep. And I, like, jerk myself awake because I'm like, fuck that. If I go right back to sleep, my brain is going to go right back into that dream because that's what happens. And so I try to keep myself awake for a while. And then I think this just happened last night or the night before last. I can't really remember. But I had one of those dreams, and I was starting to fall back asleep, and I could feel it, and I went to, like, jerk myself awake, but I couldn't do it. It's like I think it's called, like, sleep paralysis or something.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I have it. I haven't been diagnosed with it, but I know I'm sleeping. I know I'm dreaming, and I could feel, you know how when you're about to fall asleep and it feels like you're falling and you jerk yourself awake? Mm-hmm. I felt that, but I felt myself, like, falling deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and I felt heavier and heavier, and I just wanted to be awake, and I got scared because I couldn't wake myself up.
Oh, my God. That sounds terrifying.
It was, and then finally I jerked awake, and then I was, like, sweating and, like, breathing all heavy, and I'm like, I am so tired, but I don't want to sleep. Isn't that awful?
Yeah, that sounds exhausting.
Damn. It is. Okay, so I go first this time?
Yes, you do.
All right. Are you all ready?
I'm buckled in.
For a journey.
God.
Come with me on a journey.
I will.
Okay, so my case is about the Canadian serial killer / rapist known as the Vampire Rapist.
Oh, first of all.
Yeah. Okay, so I know that we've been doing this a lot lately. People need to know that we are, like, borderline obsessed with werewolves and vampires, mainly vampires. But werewolves get lumped in with vampires for some reason.
Yeah, they do.
So we've been obsessed with vampires for quite some time. Which is why we kind of gravitate towards these. And Erin, you've been slaying it with them, and I happened upon this one, and I was like, I have to return the favor.
It's true. I love it.
Okay, so the Vampire Rapist. He was active.
Wait, first of all?
Oh, yes.
A vampire couldn't rape me.
Okay. That is not what I expected you to say at all. Oh, shit. Okay.
Couldn't he just compel people? It's not rape.
That's true, but I mean, it depends on what universe you're living in. Like, determines what the vampire actually has, like, what capabilities.
Laws?
Yeah, vampire laws.
All right, go on.
Okay, so the Vampire Rapist was active in 1969 through 1971. So this is 50-something years ago.
Yeah.
I'm not doing hard math, but it's loose math. I'm not into that hard shit.
You don't want to get into that hard shit.
Yeah. Wait, one more thing. Someone told me, you guys don't sound smart on this podcast.
That's not the point of this.
No, which is funny because we're actually very intelligent human beings.
We both went to college and we're good at stuff.
Yeah, it's like fucking late for us.
It's late, and if they were listening to the third episode, I was hammered.
Allegedly.
So, Allegedly. So, is that really a good sample? No.
No. And you know what? Fuck it. If people think we're dumb, I'm cool with it. Okay, so The Vampire Rapist, active 1969 through 1971. And I'm just going to go ahead and jump into the victims.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get started. By the way, you should know that this happened in Montreal, Canada.
You did say Canada earlier, and
Okay.
my first thought was, I thought Canadians were so polite.
This one was rude as shit.
Rape is generally one of the ruder things you could do to a person.
Okay, victim number 1, her name was Shirley Audette, and she lived in Montreal, Canada. And she was a girl.
Uh-huh.
She was a lady who lived in an apartment complex, and she had a boyfriend who worked late nights. So at night, he would be gone at work, and she would call him. They would call each other regularly.
Mm-hmm.
So she calls her boyfriend, who's at work at 3 o'clock in the morning, and they have a chat. And she mentions that she had been talking to some guy around the apartment complex, like had befriended some guy around the apartment complex, and he was really nice. And she didn't say this exactly, but the gist I get from this conversation was that she liked that she found a friend around there because she's scared to be home alone at night. And so she felt like safe to know that somebody was close that she could like call on if she were scared.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so that's 3 o'clock in the morning. And then at 5 o'clock in the morning, he calls her back because I guess this is something that they do regularly, is call each other in the middle of the night, which I would just like to state that would not be cool with me if I didn't have a night job.
No, if I worked during the day and Brandon tried to call me at night from his night job, I'd be like, you can go straight to F.
Yeah. I guess this is like the late 60s, though, so maybe she didn't have a job?
Maybe.
I don't know. Anyway, so he calls her at 5. She doesn't answer, and he thinks that's kind of weird. And then so when he gets off, he goes and checks on her. And
It's kind of weird that she didn't answer at 5 in the morning. Like, there's no way she could be sleeping.
I know. Well, here's what I was thinking of. They didn't, obviously, I'm going to sound like such an idiot, but they didn't have, like, cell phones and stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, if he called, she had to get out of bed to answer the phone because they didn't have cordless either. It was a
Yeah.
cord.
The cord could have been by the bed. Or the
That's
phone
true.
could have been by
She
the
could
bed.
have had that. But I'm imagining, like, every time the phone rings, you got to be
It's in the
like,
kitchen.
ugh, let me get out of bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an apartment. They only had one jack. For sure it was in the kitchen. I've lived in apartments before. I know how this works.
In the 90s.
Okay, so he goes to check on her, and I don't know if he had a key or whatever, but he gets in the apartment, and she's not there. And he's like, that's so weird. And then I think it goes, like, all day. And then the next day, she's still missing, and there's a maintenance guy, either a maintenance guy or a landscaper. And he's out doing his job, and he finds her, and she's dead, propped up against the building, the apartment building. And she's fully clothed, and she has blood coming out of her nose, and it looks like a smile on her face.
Oh, that's horrifying.
Can you imagine? I'd be like, nope.
No, I don't like that at all.
I guess if I found anybody, I'd be like, nope. But how do you die with a smile on your face?
I don't think I would find a body. Because I would see a lady propped up against a wall with clothes on, and I'd be like, she's an alive person, and I would keep walking.
Yeah, because you don't do shit in emergencies. That's
exactly.
Why.
Out of sight, out of mind.
I'd be like, is she asleep? Let me check her pulse. Let me touch all the crime scene evidence.
I grew up in the hood. Mind your business. Don't look anybody in the eyes.
Don't look at me.
Yeah, so I wouldn't even look at her face to see that she's bleeding. I'd just be like, nope.
I mean, I grew up in the hood too, but I was like, fuck it. Hi, my name is Stacy. Do you want to be my friend?
I was not that person.
I did not learn my lesson. But now I have a lot of friends.
That's true. And I do because I met you.
Yay! This is a really good relationship we have going.
It's true.
Yeah, and by the way, how can you have a smile if you're, like, sitting up? Or if you're, in any scenario, if you're dead, I feel like it takes muscles to smile, right?
I don't know. I imagine, like, the Mona Lisa smile, like a little grin.
Oh, that's probably exactly what it is. It's
like,
not
she
a
wasn't
fucking
like,
Cheshire cat. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Glad we worked that one out. Okay, so like I said, she was fully clothed. They suspected that she had been strangled because she had the blood coming out of her nose, and the autopsy confirmed that she had been strangled and also raped.
Oh.
And another interesting thing was that she had savage bite marks all over her breasts and neck.
Oh.
Which is where the vampire part comes in.
Yeah. Did she have her blood?
Yes. Yes, she had all of her blood. A very important question.
I mean, listen.
I mean, I'm not sure if she had all of it, but I think it was just like, shit, this person's like biting people.
Yeah. Ugh, that's pretty bad.
The other thing they find in her autopsy is that there are no, I guess, things they don't find. There's no blood or skin or anything underneath her nails to indicate that she struggled. And she had no bruising or anything on her body. Only like the bloody nose and the bite marks on her boobs.
Okay.
Yeah, so
that leads itself to compulsion. This is a vampire.
Oh,
she didn't fight back.
Yeah, like he glamored her.
Yeah.
I wish we didn't use that word.
We don't have to say any of this.
No, it's all right. We podcast now.
Oh,
People
God.
need to know.
People need to know how weird we are.
Exactly.
Our friends don't.
They already know. Our friends know we're fucking weird.
I mean, they know, but they don't actually know. They don't know the details.
Yeah, we're kind of like putting ourselves out there for this.
We really are.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Whatever.
Proceed.
So Shirley's boyfriend was obviously a suspect
Yeah.
in the case.
But he was at work.
But he was at work, so he had the perfect alibi. But I guess there's still that like open window of time, right? Where he's like, she wasn't in her apartment. And then a day later, I think it was a day later, sometime later, she's found behind the apartment. So, like, did he have that alibi for that space of time? I don't know. Okay, so anyway, they don't, like, hold him on suspicion or anything like that. It's just they don't have any leads.
Yeah,
right?
he's just a suspect because he's a boyfriend.
Exactly. Okay, enter victim number 2, which is not exactly the nicest way to say that, but...
Stage left.
So, victim number 2, Mariel Archambault. So, on November 23rd, Mariel was a clerk at a jewelry store. She was really good friends with all of her coworkers, and she kept telling them that, like, hey, I met this handsome new boyfriend or guy, and his name is Bill, and we're going to go on a date.
Vampire Bill?
Today. God damn, I didn't even catch that. Okay, so she's going to go on a date later with Vampire Bill. She was super happy and, like, super head over heels about the guy and really excited to go on this date. Well, the next morning, she doesn't show up for work. And so her coworkers are like, fucking suspicious because she's supposed to go out with this guy. Oh, I forgot to mention also, he picked her up from work right after work. But
So did the people see him?
they saw him, but he wouldn't go inside to like into her place of work. He just like stayed outside. So they got like a glimpse of him.
Okay.
And then
What about his car or anything like that?
Great question.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
See, we are smart.
I'll answer it later. So
Okay,
so the next morning she doesn't show up for work. And her coworkers are like, red flag because she just went on this date with this guy. Mm-hmm. The coworkers go to her apartment and they get the landlady or the landress to unlock the apartment. When they open the apartment, everything was really tidy and everything. But Mariel was propped on the couch and she was dead. And she was naked, and she had her pantyhose had been ripped off, and they were wrapped around her neck. And so had her bra. Her bra had been ripped off also. So she obviously died from strangulation. She'd been raped, and her breasts and neck and everything had been, like, savagely bitten at again. Had been, like, mutilated by teeth marks.
that's awful.
Fucking terrible. And she'd been, like, propped up on the couch almost like with care, like, oh, let me make her comfortable. Not like posed in like a
sexy way or something.
Yeah, a derogatory way or anything. It was just like, oh, let's make her comfortable.
Oh, that's so weird.
Yeah, fucking really weird. Super rude. Anyway, the investigators come in and they go through her house. Everything was like really clean and tidy and in place, so it didn't look like there was a struggle or anything. And the only thing they really found was in her dresser, there was like a crumpled up picture of a man. And so they showed everybody, like, hey, is this fucking Vampire Bill? And everybody was like, that's him. And so the investigators are super excited because now they have a face. Like, oh, let's find this man. And they ask around, and they cannot put, like, a person to the face at all.
I'm a little bit perturbed
Yeah, let's hear it.
by the fact that this vampire showed up on a camera. Sorry. Zing. Go ahead.
Ha! Everybody knows vampires can't take pictures.
Duh. Would they see him in a mirror? Get out of here.
Get out of here. Shit. Okay, so the next victim was on January 16th in 1970. Her name was Jean Way, and she had a boyfriend. She'd been dating this boyfriend for like a month, and they had plans to go on a date this particular day. So Jean's boyfriend comes and knocks on her apartment door, and she doesn't answer, so he thinks like, oh, she's just not ready yet. And I guess he had come early to the date, so he wasn't that alarmed or anything. And he, like, I don't know, went to a bar and had a drink or went and did something. He left, and then he comes back at the time that he's supposed to go on this date, and she's still not answering. And so he tries the door, and it's unlocked. So he walks inside.
And gets his DNA everywhere.
Gets his DNA everywhere. But it's the 60s. Remember, DNA
right.
isn't that, like,
Pertinent.
they're not worried about that. Okay, everything is, like, in place. Like, nothing looks crazy or anything. And then he goes into her room and finds her naked on the bed with her robe belt wrapped around her neck.
Mm-hmm.
And she was still warm to the touch.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I wonder if when he knocked, the guy was there.
Guess what?
Oh, no.
Guess what?
What?
Get ready. So she also had been, just for the
Strangled.
record, since I was talking about like the state of her body that was found in, she had bite marks all over her neck and all over her breast also.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the bite marks was so bad it like almost bit her nipple completely off.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Okay, so he sees her body and he runs out the door and he goes to the police station, which I guess is like pretty close down the street or whatever.
Okay, I was going to say like a phone wouldn't be closer, but that's fine.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess not. Are you really going to be thinking that clearly either? Like, I'd be like, let me get the fuck out of this house.
Oh, I would get the fuck out of there for sure, and probably try and run far, far away. But
yeah, maybe that's what he's doing. And then he was like, oh, police station. I know what I should do. So he goes to the police station. The police come, and when they walk into the apartment, she's covered with a fucking sheet. So, like, probably when he knocked the first time, he was in there hurting her. And then when he finally came back and just walked in, the door was unlocked.
Oh
he
my
just
God.
walks in, and the murderer was in the apartment with
oh
him.
my God.
And she was still warm, so it, like, just happened. How fucked up is that?
What if he was like behind the door?
No! Oh my God.
Oh my God, I don't feel good. Like, I feel like there's someone behind me.
They're not. There's a mirror. You can see.
I
You're
know I
fine.
can, but I don't like it.
That is, like, my biggest fear. Fuck that shit.
Oh, that's so scary.
Yeah. Right?
Oh.
Okay, so in her autopsy, obviously they find that she died from strangulation because, I mean, the rope was around her neck.
Mm-hmm.
But they also they looked under her nails and found a couple fibers, indicating
dun,
that she had
dun.
struggled and, like, fought back. But everything else in the apartment was, like, fine.
There's no, like, drugs in their system or anything? Like, tranquilizers?
I haven't read anything about that, no.
Huh.
Which is so weird, right? Like,
'Cause,
that's
like,
a really good point.
Yeah, why would you not fight back? At least, like, even unwillingly, you would, like, if you were conscious, you would grab for the rope at your neck or grab for something.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Or, like, what if...
Do you, like, hit
Well,
him
let's
and
go
knock
over
him
these
out?
theories at the end, okay?
Okay.
Because I have some things I want to say, but I don't want to give it away yet.
Okay.
Okay, so the fourth and final victim. Her name was Elizabeth Ann Porteous, and this is now in Calgary, Alberta, and it's May 18th, 1971. So it's like over a year later. So he takes a year hiatus, and he's like, I'm going to move from Montreal to Calgary because I'm sure it's because he murdered 3 girls, and he was like, I think I should skip town.
I think they have my picture.
Yeah. You know, it's a bad idea
I'm gonna go.
to keep living here.
Yeah.
So Elizabeth was a 33-year-old school teacher, and she had met a man named Bill.
Bum, 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 Bill.
Clever. And her and Bill had planned to go on a date. And this date was really important to her, so much so that she talked to her friends about it, and they, like, went shopping for an outfit.
Oh.
Yeah.
To die in.
Unfortunately, spoiler alert. So the day comes around. She's going to go on this date. She's super excited. The next day, surprise, surprise, she doesn't show up for work. I guess it was like on a Monday or on a Sunday her date was, and then Monday for school she didn't show up for work. So her coworkers are like, we should go check on her. And they call the, like, I don't know, maintenance man or the manager of her apartments. And somebody who worked at the apartments has a master key, goes into her apartment, opens the door. The apartment is a disaster.
Ooh.
Like, shit everywhere. There was a struggle. And Elizabeth was laying on the ground. Her dress had been, like, ripped off of her. And so buttons, like, ripped buttons were around her.
Mm-hmm.
And she was laid kind of in a spread eagle position, but more like she had just been raped. And then somebody left her, like how you
They
would...
didn't take care to pose her or anything like that.
Yeah, like this one didn't get posed. And it wasn't like he, like, left her spread eagle to be like, vulgar. It was like, I mean, I guess nobody really knows that, but from what I read, it was more like he, you know, just was like, bye, and didn't do anything with her.
I wonder if he got interrupted.
Maybe. Who knows? He does. Asshole. Anyway.
I have so many questions, but
Okay.
I'm sure you'll get to them.
Okay, so she was laying in the doorway of her apartment, or, like, not, like, in the living room. Every time I imagine these stories with apartments, I think of the one apartment that I lived in.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I lived in more than one. But I think of, like, my first apartment,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, you would, like, it was so small. If you open the door, you'd hit the body.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's not important.
it's probably right there somewhere in the front room. Like,
Neither here nor there. She was, basically she was in the front room, splayed like this. Her breast and neck obviously had bite marks, and one of her breasts had been bitten through from top to bottom. Yeah. I don't know how.
first of all, it's a lot of jaw strength.
I don't like it. I don't like it. It is a lot of jaw strength. Maybe he was eating his now and laters. Like Armin should have done. Okay, so
I hope they were dead when that happened.
that's all I can hope too. I heard somewhere that they weren't. I don't know how they would know other than, like, if it's bleeding, then likely they are dead. Because
that's how they know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like you said, like, they'd have to be sedated then, because you would struggle with that.
Oh, I would struggle the fuck out of that.
And her apartment was a mess, and I guess it looked like somebody had cleaned something up. I don't know what that means. Like blood? I don't know.
Yeah.
And he's like, let me do the dishes real quick. And do
Well,
your
I
salad.
don't want to leave a mess.
Yeah, that'd be rude. Shit, man, that's so fucked up. Okay, obviously her coworkers are like, hey, guess what? She was going on this date with this guy named Bill,
Yeah.
and we actually saw her with him, and they were in a car, and it was a blue Mercedes, and it had like, I don't know if it was a decal, because Wikipedia says decal, but I don't, you know, when you read something on Wikipedia and then you see something contradictory, you're like, for sure it's the other thing. So it was either a decal or a, what am I thinking of? Like a figurine in the back of the car.
Oh, okay.
That was in the shape of a bull or a horse or some sort of animal.
Okay.
And it was enough to identify, like, well, first of all,
Yeah.
a blue Mercedes. But she was seen in a blue Mercedes with a good-looking guy with, like, long sideburns.
Gross.
Yeah, and it was the day that they were going on the date that she was seen. It was, like, at a stoplight or something.
Ugh. Okay.
And so the police department are like, hey, yo, fellow police people, keep an eye out for this kind of car.
Uh-huh.
Well, the next day, they spot the car, and it's really close to the crime scene.
Oh, my God.
And so they're like, we'll wait for the guy to come out.
Of the car? Or, like, the place that he is?
Yeah, like to go get his car, to get
Okay.
into his car.
Uh-huh.
And so they wait, and out walks
Oh, my God.
Wayne
God.
Clifford Bowden.
Who?
Wayne Clifford Bowden.
Wayne?
Wayne.
That's not Bill at all.
No, it's not Bill. He's fucking lying about his goddamn name. He wish he were Bill. Vampire Bill.
What's your name? Bill?
Suck it. Oh, shit.
God.
Okay, so here comes Wayne. He was a 23-year-old.
Child.
According to the math, he's 23. I'm like, how the fuck do you have a Mercedes if you're 23?
It's mom's.
Well, maybe. And he was a former fashion model and also a salesman. So I'm assuming the fashion part didn't work out. But he was like this good-looking, sharp-dressed man who had fucking money, evidently. And
Just had a kink at biting tits.
I guess. And so the police are like, yo, you're coming with us.
Uh-huh.
And he tells the police, like, yeah, I moved here from Montreal about a year ago, and I was dating Elizabeth, and I did see her the night she died, so like 2 nights ago, but she was fine when I left her.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, first of all,
You'll just place yourself at the scene of the crime and all the other ones.
yeah, I mean, for a sharp-dressed man, you
You're
ain't
not
got-
very sharp. Oh, got him.
Zing! Okay, so the Calgary police were like,
Are they mounted?
I hope so.
Oh, what's that Mercedes? 700 horsepower? I have one.
A single. Okay, so the Calgary police had a copy of the photograph from Mariel's apartment. And they were like, let's look at it. Let's look at the photograph.
We'll compare.
To Wayne. And he looked very similar, but it wasn't him. It turned out to be like Mariel's good friend or something.
Oh.
Yeah. So this
And
whole
the friend
time they
was
were
just like, whoa, dude, sorry, that was me.
Well, I had read somewhere that the friend was deceased.
Oh.
Which then why'd she crumple it up?
What if they're on a date
Oh.
and then he, like, sees this picture
Yeah.
and then gets, like, thrown into a rage because it's a picture of another dude?
Maybe.
Like, maybe he's been on normal dates and just maybe these dates where something ragey happened.
Yeah, he got like jealous.
Yeah.
And then he went into her bedroom and put it in her dresser drawer.
Yeah. Maybe.
I mean, maybe.
Listen, I didn't say it was foolproof.
Listen, I don't know. I'm not saying I know.
I'm not saying he did it. I'm not saying he didn't do it. I'm just saying there's a crumpled piece of paper in her dresser drawer.
And they were just on a date. Okay, so police hold Wayne on suspicion for the murder of Elizabeth. The police contact a local orthodontist, and they're like, hey, I think we got the dude that's been making all these bite marks.
We need impressions.
Yeah, and the orthodontist is like, I've never once compared teeth marks before because it, like, had never been done in Canada, like, for any investigation purposes.
Oh.
But it had been in, like, the UK and stuff. So they...
I don't imagine it'd be that hard. Like, you take a cast of his teeth, and then you take the body, and then you just kind of put it towards it, like, yeah.
I think
Or
it would
no.
be easy if you have, like, super jacked up, unique teeth. But if your teeth are just, like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, not that... I mean, I don't know what his teeth were like.
Which reminds me of the book Red Dragon. It was one
Do
of
go
the...
on.
It was one of the... It's not a vampire book.
Damn.
It was a murder book, and I believe it was based on a real case, but I don't actually know that. That's probably not true. But the guy had like a cleft lip, yeah, and he was all like his teeth were all fucked up, and he would bite people because
See?
yeah, because of that. And then that was kind of how they caught him. And he would eat like their food in their fridge, and so he like took a bite out of a block of cheese, and they're like, he's got fucked up teeth.
Weird.
Yeah, super weird. But
I want cheese.
I don't like just cheese by itself, so that like really creeps me out, and so I
Oh.
think a murderer would do that. Brandon.
I love cheese. I
Sounds
could eat a
weird.
whole fucking block of cheese.
That's so gross to me.
Anyway, we don't need to talk about this. We talk about cheese too much.
It's a staple in my life.
Okay, so they contact the local orthodontist. He had to get advice from like investigators in the UK because he's never done this before. So he like learns how to fucking identify teeth marks, and he goes and takes a cast of Wayne's teeth. Which, why would you agree to that? He was just like, yeah, okay. I mean, you know,
Because you're not mentally all there, so you're like, I'll get away with this.
yeah, I'm so great. I can get away with fucking anything.
Or you're just
But I
over
mean,
it. You're
yeah.
like, yeah, whatever, figure it
Yeah,
out.
and as soon as you say no, they're like, for sure, it's his mouth.
Yeah.
We'll get a
How
subpoena.
do you get a warrant for his mouth?
Yeah. Okay, so that local orthodontist, he identifies 29 points of similarity between Wayne's teeth and the bite marks on Elizabeth's body. So it's like case fucking closed because 29 points is a lot of points, evidently.
I was going to say, how many points total? How many teeth do we have? Is that
don't-
all of them?
I don't really know, and I don't feel like counting them. Yeah, so also another thing, they search his apartment and find Elizabeth's button from her dress.
What?
Yeah, and he would he kept it as a trophy and would hold it and remember the times that he had with her, aka,
The rape
yeah,
and murder.
yeah. How fucked up is that?
That's pretty messed up.
Why would you? Okay, here's another thing. I'm not a murderer, so I'll never understand them. But why would you ever admit to anybody that you ever did that? Not the murder alone, like that, whatever. But like that, and also I held her button and fondled it. Like, why would you say that?
I think that a lot of those kind of confessions come from the psychiatrists afterward when they talk to them.
Are they allowed to disclose that? I feel like that's patient-doctor confidentiality.
Probably.
I mean,
but
it's the 60s and 70s, so who knows?
they don't care. But also, if you're deciding whether or not they're saying enough to stand trial, stuff that they say might be...
Used against them or
Yeah.
something? Maybe.
I don't
know.
actually know that at
I
all.
don't either. I like it though, so let's go with it.
All right.
It's true. The evidence of the bite marks and the button was strong enough for a jury to find Wayne guilty of the
Okay.
murder of Elizabeth.
Good.
So he gets sentenced to life.
Uh-huh. Oh, you think that's the end, but it's not.
Nope, I got one more page. Fun fact. sprinkled in here.
There's a lot of these.
Yeah. Wayne was the first murderer in North America to be convicted based on
You can do it.
Odinology. Odenthology. I wrote it too, and I was like, I got this.
I'll be able to say that when the time comes.
You're going to do the good one that I get. Odontology. Wayne was the first murderer in North America to be convicted on odontology evidence, a.k.a. dentistry, a.k.a. your mouth and your teeth.
Damn.
In North America.
Wow.
So this orthodontist was like, you see that guy over there?
That's pretty cool for him.
Yeah, I casted his fucking teeth, and I was like, he did it.
And now he's the expert in North America because he's the only one.
Yeah.
Or he was at the time.
Go orthodontist. Okay. Wayne returned to Montreal to face murder charges there for the 3 victims as well. And he basically confesses to all the murders. Like, yeah, I did that shit. And he gets 3 additional life terms. So he's going to be in prison forever, right?
Good.
He also recants those confessions later and says they were coerced, which I'm sure they were. But also, you fucking did it.
Yeah.
So whatever. So he's in prison for the rest of his life. But a fun little thing happened in 1977. Wayne was granted a day trip.
Get the fuck out of here.
It's Canada, so they're nice. I wanted to get back to this where you're like, I thought they were too nice.
Oh my
They're
God.
fucking really nice if you get day trips and you're a prisoner.
Was he shackled?
No.
Oh my God. Did he escape?
Because I was like, I don't know. Actually, I do.
God damn it.
He escapes the guards.
Jesus Christ.
And he had somehow procured an American Express credit card. And he wasn't found for 36 hours. And when they found him, he was at a hotel in downtown Montreal. First of all, he committed 3 of the murders in Montreal. And then they let him on a day trip in Montreal.
What was he doing for this day trip? Was it like, a picnic by the fucking...
I don't know. They just, let him outside? I fucking don't know. But anyway, so they find him in a downtown Montreal hotel. And he's having lunch on his credit card with a woman.
Oh my God.
He's having lunch with a woman. He's on a fucking date.
Oh my God.
How did he find, first of all, how did he find a chick so quick?
Well, you said he's attractive.
Yeah, that's true. And then second of all, that lady almost fucking died because they interrupted the lunch and was like, no.
He's going to bite your tits off.
Yeah. Yeah. Careful.
You don't want none of that.
No. You don't. Anyway, so, the guards got in a lot of trouble for letting him escape. And
that whole thing that they weren't supposed to do.
Yeah, and American Express opened an internal investigation because they were like, how the fuck did somebody serving a life sentence in prison get a credit card from us? But, now they send you so many fucking flyers in the mail. It's so
I'm sure
easy.
they sent him to prison, too.
Yeah. Okay, so then March 27th, 2006, Wayne died of skin cancer.
Skin cancer?
Yeah. In a prison hospital somewhere. He was sick.
Was he real pale? He couldn't go in the sun.
Oh, I was like, what are you getting at?
He's a vampire?
Oh my God! It just all full circle. You're really good with a vampire connections.
Oh, it's all I think about all day.
I was like, what is she talking about? Anyway, so that's my story about the vampire rapist.
Wow, that was quite interesting.
One more little tidbit. I always do this because I remember it later. But he admits that, yeah, I did this because I got off on it sexually. If I bit them and drank their blood, I got off on it.
Ugh, gross.
Yeah.
What about them not fighting back and stuff? Did he ever address that?
I didn't find anything about that. Actually, and this is a good time to say, it was hard to find, good information. So I wanted to give a shout out. I glazed over the details of this case, and I just hit the highlights. But there's a podcast called Dark Poutine, and they go in detail. So I highly suggest looking into it if you're interested and you want to know more granular details. I think it was episode 17 that they did. So go check it out. Go send them some love because that's where I got most of the good stuff. It was really hard to find any kind of detail. So back to your question of if they were drugged or anything, I didn't find anything like that anywhere. And I didn't hear that they mentioned it, but
that is interesting.
Yeah, super interesting.
I don't like it.
Okay, hit me with your story.
I will hit you with my story.
Give it to me.
Mine's not about a vampire or a werewolf this time.
I'm sure listeners are happy for that.
Some of them, maybe. Mine is about the Muswell Hill murderer, a.k.a. the Kindly Killer, a.k.a. the British Jeffrey Dahmer.
Oh, those were listed in perfect order. Like, what? Oh.
A little more intriguing. His name is Dennis Nilsen.
Oh, shit. This is going to be good.
Oh,
I'm excited.
It's interesting.
Okay, let's hear it.
All right, so he was a Scottish serial killer and necrophile.
Ay!
Oh, yeah.
Don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Whose murder spree lasted between 1978 and 1983
Oh, okay.
in London, England.
What a time to be alive, those 70s, huh?
Tell me about it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so a little bit about his background. He was born November 23rd, 1945 in, I don't really know how to say this, but I'm going to go ahead and guess that it's Frasenborough, Scotland.
Fraggle Rock.
Yes. He had a Scottish mom, Norwegian dad, and they lived with his maternal grandparents. He was the middle child to a younger sister and older brother. The dad apparently was an alcoholic, and so his mom and dad divorced when he was 4.
Uh-huh.
Dennis was really close with his maternal grandpa. They would go on really long walks and picnics down to the harbor, and those are some of his fondest memories. His grandpa was a fisherman, and on October 31st, 1951, he died of a heart attack while out at sea.
Oh,
Yeah.
that doesn't sound fun.
No, and so his body was brought back and everything. The most vivid childhood memory he has is his mom asking if he'd like to see his grandpa, like his grandpa's dead body.
Oh.
And he said yes. His mom took him to the open coffin to see him and told Dennis that his grandfather was sleeping.
How old was he?
He was 6.
Okay, that's pretty young.
Yeah. In the years following, Dennis became more quiet and reserved. He spent a lot of time at the harbor alone watching the boats.
Aw.
Yeah, kind of sad.
Yeah.
He rejected any affection from his family, but was jealous of attention shown to his siblings. So that's kind of,
Weird.
yeah, odd. So one time when he was alone at the harbor, he was about 10 years old. He became submerged and pulled out to sea.
What?
Yeah, like a rip current, I guess. He almost drowned. He was screaming and gasping for, quote, air that wasn't there.
Ah!
He believed his grandfather was about to come and rescue him, and so he got like a sense of peace and tranquility. He was saved by another kid, though.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so that's
lucky.
pretty traumatic.
I've heard that though for people who have almost died by drowning is like it's like super super dramatic and like you can't breathe and you just try to breathe in water, like air, and then you become super calm.
Really?
Like, at peace with the idea that you're about to die.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That sounds awful.
I know.
Well, shortly after the mom and 3 kids moved to a flat, the mom remarried, and they had 4 more kids in as many years.
Oh my gosh. That's
Yeah.
so many kids.
So now
What is that,
he's
7?
Yeah, he's one of 7.
Wow. That's a lot of work.
Fucking right.
Jeez.
So around the age of 10, he realized he was gay, and he molested, aka, it says fondled in everything. I don't know. He fondled his sister.
No.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Because
Wait, but he's gay.
She looked similar to boys that he was attracted to.
Oh.
And so he was like, oh, I'll just check this out, right?
Oh my god.
So he fondled his sister, and then he fondled his brother while he was sleeping.
No! Yuck.
The brother woke up, though, and realized that Dennis was doing that and was gay, and so he made fun of him incessantly about it.
Why wouldn't you be, like, really upset about the fact that he was touching you instead of, like, making fun of him about it?
I don't know, it was the 70s. He probably didn't know how to deal with it, so he just made fun of him, like,
Yeah.
you're gay.
Yeah. God. I'm sure that helped this serial killer.
Fucking right. So he said he had been fondled by an older boy and didn't hate it.
Oh.
Maybe
Didn't
that's
hate
what
it.
spurred these
I mean-
fondlings.
I didn't hate it.
I mean, it wasn't all bad.
God, that's terrible.
He decided to join the Army Cadet Forces at age 14, so it's kind of like the
Ooh.
JROTC,
Yeah.
you know, whatever
Yeah,
those
yeah.
are. It was a way to escape his rural origins,
Yeah.
and he did very well in school, and he wanted to be a chef, so he enlisted in the Army when he finished school. He excelled in his Army duties. It was the happiest time of his life.
Oh,
That is
wow.
a quote.
Wow.
He bathed alone to hide his homosexuality for fear of getting an erection. He drank a bunch during this time, and in one incident, he got very drunk with a German youth and woke up on the floor of his room. Nothing sexual happened between the two, but it fueled his fantasies of having a young man completely passive, and eventually evolved into fantasies of the partner being unconscious or dead.
Oh my God.
He would also pretend to be more inebriated than he was in hopes one of his colleagues would make sexual use of his supposedly unconscious body.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So his fantasy wasn't just that, like, whoever he...
Yeah, it wasn't just to do it, but also to have it done to him.
Yeah.
While deployed to South Yemen, he was kidnapped by an Arab taxi driver who beat him up and put him in his trunk. But he was in the army, so...
Shit.
Yeah. The driver opened the trunk, and Dennis came out with a jack handle and beat the guy unconscious and stuffed him in the trunk.
Oh, God. Switcheroo!
Yeah, he pulled the old switcheroo.
Yeah.
This also fueled his sexual fantasies.
How? Just
I don't know, but it happened, and maybe
by
it was
just
like
overpowering another person, maybe, or something?
maybe, or like the adrenaline,
Yeah.
like, kind of gives you a thrill. So he has sex for the first time with a prostitute and considers it overrated and depressing.
Not what he's looking for, I guess.
Yeah. After 11 years, he left the military and moved home to figure out his next career move. But his mom was more concerned with his lack of female companionship and wanted him to marry and start a family. His older brother told his mom that he was gay, and so he never spoke to his brother again, and he only had sporadic written communication with his mom, stepdad, and younger siblings after
So
that.
he just, like, cut ties. Like,
Yeah.
he was embarrassed or something, maybe? Or...
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was accepted either, or if the mom was like,
Oh.
yeah, no,
It's probably not the greatest time in the 70s to,
to
like...
come out.
Yeah, to come out and say
Yeah.
your sexual preference is anything other than what they consider normal.
So he moves to London and becomes a police officer.
Okay.
And November...
I'm sure he didn't abuse his powers in any way,
No.
shape, or form.
No, police officers, they
He-
uphold the law 100%.
He took...
An oath.
Exactly.
Yeah. So November 1975, he met a man named David Gallican,
Ah, yes.
who was being threatened outside of a pub. He took him home. He discovered that he too was gay and living in a hostel.
Oh.
So they made plans to move in together. And like the next
Oh, like
day,
roommates? Or like as in lovers?
both.
Okay.
And so like the next day he started looking for a bigger place.
Uh-huh.
And so they move in together to a first floor flat with exclusive use of the garden.
Ooh,
Yeah.
fancy ass bitches
Moving
over
up
here.
in this world. This flat was on Melrose Avenue. That's pertinent later.
Okay.
They lived together for a year before they began bringing home casual sexual partners because they were also like banging during that time.
I'm sure.
But they were falling out of interest with each other, so they started bringing home other
Yeah.
casual sexual interests.
Got it.
And eventually David left.
Ooh, he got the apartment in the breakup.
Yeah, he did.
Sweet
And
deal.
the garden.
Yeah, and the garden on Melrose.
Yes. But that kind of made him spiral into more drinking, and he really dove into his work and was spending a lot of time doing that.
Okay.
So the first victim is 14-year-old Stephen Holmes on December 30th, 1978.
Oh my god, 14.
Well, he encountered him at a pub where the minor was unsuccessfully attempting to buy alcohol.
Uh-huh.
He invited him home to drink. He later states that he thought the boy was 17.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
Maybe
the
that-
drinking age
yeah.
there, but
Maybe that's
maybe
it.
that was the only thing he was worried about. Like, oh, I thought he was 17.
Yeah.
He's going to have worse problems to worry about. You just wait.
I'm waiting.
He woke up in the morning and saw Holmes sleeping and didn't want to wake him in case he left me. That's a quote.
Shit. Some issues.
So he decided that he was going to make him stay with him no matter what.
Oh god.
So he strangled him into unconsciousness and then drowned him in a bucket of water,
No.
masturbated over the body twice, then put it beneath the floorboards.
As one does. Why would you put it under the floorboards? That's a terrible idea.
I don't know.
Oh my god.
It's a bad idea.
Okay.
So, August 11th, 1979, which is 8 months later, he finally disposes of the body.
Stop.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you
What-
thinking about what the body is?
Yeah, wow,
For 8 months. Yeah.
That's like, if you cook chicken the day before yesterday and put it in the trash, It smells terrible.
Oh, it's bad.
Like, you open the door and you're like, holy
Why are there flies?
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. 8 months?
Yep, 8 months.
Was there any preparation done to the body?
Yes, actually. I'll tell you all about that later.
Okay.
But 8 months later, he disposes of the body in a bonfire in the garden.
The community garden?
No, it's his exclusive garden.
Oh, okay. Exclusive. Okay.
Remember? He got exclusive rights to the garden.
Yeah.
So, October 11th, 1979, he attempts to strangle another boy that he met at a pub. He had lured him back to his house under the promise of sex. The boy's name was Andrew Ho.
I promise you sex. Sorry.
You'd be really good at luring. But the boy escaped and called the cops, who went and talked to Dennis, and then the boy decided not to press charges.
No. Come on,
nothing
let's
was
press
done.
him.
December 3rd, 1979. So this is like almost a full year later
Uh-huh.
from the first murder anyway.
Uh-huh.
He met 23-year-old Canadian student Kenneth Ockenden at a pub. He learned that Kenneth was a tourist and said he'd show him around. Kenneth was like, heck yeah. And so they stopped at Dennis's
Heck
house. Heck yeah, man, let's do this.
All right.
Super duper. So they stopped at Dennis's home for drinks first, where Dennis strangled him with headphones while Kenneth was listening to the headphones.
Oh, my God.
Like, listening to
Wait,
music on
okay.
them.
First of all, if you're going to come back and we're going to pre-party, I'm not trying to listen to music on my headphones.
It was the 70s.
You think he was like, oh, this new album just dropped.
Yeah,
It's
probably
sick.
that.
Or he
maybe.
was like, it's super duper.
Like, listen to my sweet headphones. Do you think the cord was coiled, like those curly ones?
Oh, maybe.
Well, he recalled, quote, dragging the youth across the floor with the wire wrapped around his neck as he strangled him,
Oh, my God.
before pouring himself a glass of rum and continuing to listen to music upon the headphones with which he had strangled Kenneth. So the next day, he bought a camera and took suggestive pictures of the corpse.
Oh, no. Oh, my God. Why do people do this?
He laid the corpse spread eagle on top of himself as he watched TV for hours.
Stop. Why would
Then-
somebody do that?
I don't know, because you're fucked up in the head.
Oh, shit.
Then he wrapped it in plastic bags and stored it in the floorboards.
That's how he does it? He just puts them in plastic bags?
Uh-huh. And then
Like, what kind of plastic bags?
Glad.
that.
They have that deodorizer.
We are really getting sponsorship from Glad now. Like, was it a bunch of little sandwich bags?
Febreze
And he just,
bags.
like, yeah. Or were they
Sandwich
like,
bags over
trash
the, over the
bags?
hands.
Oh, my God.
So, on 4 occasions within 2 weeks, he brought the body out of the floorboards and posed it on the armchair alongside himself as he watched TV and drank and
No.
talked to it.
No.
Oh,
This is
yes.
some Norman Bates shit.
It really is, yeah.
Oh, my God.
So then, May 17th, 1980, he met 16-year-old Martin Duffy.
Martin Duffy.
Yes.
Okay.
This kid had gone to London, like he ran away without his parents knowing, and Dennis was like, "Hey man, you look kind of sad and tired and hungry. Come home to my house.
Come to my lair.
Yeah, I'll give you
I
some
have
food."
exclusive rights to this garden.
Yeah. And so the kid was like, "Heck yeah!" Again. I don't know why everyone was so damn willing in the 70s.
Oh, man.
And then while this kid was asleep, Dennis, he
Okay.
sat on Martin's chest and strangled him.
No.
Yeah. Then he drowned him in the sink.
Oh. He definitely has a system. I will
He
say
does.
that.
Yeah.
All right. This might be thinking a little too much. I feel like drowning in a bucket might be easier than the sink because the sink's up higher, so they might have more leverage to, like, push off. Whereas a bucket, you're, like, throwing them off center.
I feel like a bucket might tip over easier.
That's true.
Like,
Sure.
because if
Ah,
you're not
shit.
holding them up all the way, yeah.
Yeah.
Like maybe a bathtub.
Let's not drown people.
Maybe that. According to Dennis, Martin had the youngest looking body he had ever seen.
Oh, God.
Speaking of having a system, he also had a routine where he would bathe the bodies after he killed them
You could just keep them alive and befriend them.
and have like a boyfriend.
yeah.
Whatever.
Okay.
Don't be absurd.
That's asking an awful lot.
So he posed the body on chairs in the bed and he would kiss and compliment it.
No.
He'd masturbate on it. And for 2 days, he stored it in the cupboard.
What?
Yeah, not under the floorboards for this guy.
Well, I mean, the floorboards are taken up.
Well, that's true. So 2 days he was stored in a cupboard before the body started to bloat. So He put it under the floorboards. So then following this, he began to murder with increased frequency. And before the end of 1980, he had murdered 5 more people.
Holy shit.
Only one of them was identified. And that was 26-year-old William Sutherland.
Did they just find the other bodies and they couldn't connect them to missing people or something?
You'll find out.
Okay.
Kind of.
Okay.
So he remembers each murder and how long the bodies were kept before dissection. Here's another.
He dissects them?
Yeah. Yeah. That's another little tidbit after their... We'll talk more about his rituals later, but...
Okay.
Yeah. So, as you can imagine, the bodies in the floorboard began to smell.
Yeah.
Yeah. They got insects, maggots, and his apartment was filled with flies.
Ew! Wait. If it lands on the body, then it lands on you. It touched you.
Oh yeah, that body touched you.
Like...
Although he was touching the bodies anyway.
Yeah,
so.
I know. It's so cool.
He placed deodorants under the floorboards.
Oh, that'll help. Shit. Sorry.
And would spray insecticide twice daily.
2 times?
Yeah, but the flies and the smell remained, surprisingly.
Yeah, because they're breeding inside the flesh of the dead person underneath your floorboards.
Yeah. So he was like, I gotta get rid of these bodies.
I gotta take care of this shit.
So then in late 1980, he removed and dissected each body and...
Wait, they were there for how long?
About a year. Well, he kept the first body for 8 months.
Oh, Lordy.
So, I mean, he's just... I was thinking during this whole thing, I wonder if he didn't have a sense of smell. But then he was spraying for the smell. So maybe not. Maybe he had less of a sense of smell.
Wait, okay. How are people coming into this apartment?
Who is coming into this apartment?
And not being like, there's a lot of flies. Yeah.
The people being lured there? Yeah, I'd be like, I'm going to go ahead and pass. Yeah. Hard pass.
Smells really bad in here, and there's a lot of bugs.
I wouldn't hang out.
I don't want to sleep here.
No, I don't want to drink.
Oh, God. Okay, so he's like, I gotta do something with the bodies.
Yeah, so he dissects each body and burns them all in a communal bonfire in his garden.
I was gonna say his garden. How is his garden exclusive to him, but it's a communal bonfire?
Well, communal as in all the 6 bodies.
Oh. I thought it was like, we can all share this bonfire pit, but the garden is his.
The garden, do not put your basil in here. It's my basil. To disguise the smell, he put a tire on the fire.
Yeah.
Because tires, like burning rubber, really smells.
Yeah, it smells like a skunk.
And he said that children watched the fire.
Oh.
Once it was all burned, he raked through the ashes and to like find any other bits of bone and stuff, and he found a skull that was still intact.
Yeah.
So he smashed it with a rake.
Oh.
January 4th, 1981. He doesn't remember his name, or he didn't know his name. I don't know, but they don't know who this person was. All he was described as was an 18-year-old blue-eyed young Scot. He met him at a pub, lured him home to drink. You know, the usual MO.
Yep, his usual.
Yeah, he strangled him, this time with a tie, and put the body under the floorboards. January 12th, 1981, he calls out of work so that he can dissect this body and one more that he had killed a month earlier.
Oh my God. I don't mean to be rude, but I just feel like, can you imagine that day that he's like, this is too much. I have too much to do. I need to call out of work.
Do you not have weekends for this?
Yeah.
Maybe he's really busy on the weekends.
Hobby.
Luring in other boys.
Well, he's busy spraying for fucking bugs.
That's true. So by April 1981, he had killed 2 more unidentified men.
Yeah, he's on a rampage.
Racking up the body count.
And he's just putting them under his floorboards, huh? Even though he knows this problem is going to come around.
Mm-hmm. These ones, he was, like, knocking out the dissection, though, at least. Like, he was keeping them for a while to, like, pose them and do all that kind of stuff with them, but then he would dissect them, like, as soon as they started to rot.
Oh, okay.
So that he'd at least get that part out of the way. You don't want to be a procrastinator with that kind of thing.
No, I mean, really, you have to have your priorities in order here.
Yeah, exactly. So the final victim at the Melrose address...
How many is this by now?
A
lot?
This is a lot. I'm not sure what number we're at by now, but I think the final count was between like 12 and 15.
Jesus criminy.
I don't know how flats work, but like, did he have an upstairs neighbor?
I'm sure. It's
or
just
like did he share a wall with anyone? Because I feel like other people would also get bugs. You know when there's that one fucked up apartment that has roaches, and then now you have roaches or fleas or whatever it is?
Yeah.
Or maybe it was like a townhome type thing where it was separated. I feel like we have this problem every time we're like, but wait, why does he have an apartment? How is he murdering with an apartment?
It's because we lived in paper fucking thin walled apartments where we're like, I think she's getting up to go to the bathroom at 3 in the morning.
Yeah. Is she on a goddamn treadmill up there? Are you doing jumping jacks while you watch TV? What the fuck are you doing?
Sounds like she's getting water. She must be thirsty.
Anyway, the final victim at the Melrose address was 23-year-old Malcolm Barlow. He was found slumped outside of Dennis's home.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And Dennis went over and was like, hey, man, what's going on? And the guy was like, well, I'm on this medication for epilepsy, and it makes my legs really weak. And so...
Oh, God.
Yeah, and so Dennis was like, you should be, like, in a hospital, man. Come inside. And so he goes into Dennis's apartment.
Don't do it, man.
Yeah, and Dennis, what do you think he did?
I think he strangled him and drowned him or whatever and fucking kept his body under the floorboards and masturbated on him and then cut his body up into tiny little pieces and then had a communal bonfire and threw a tire on top of it and then raked through the bones and smashed the skull.
That would be a very good guess. However, he called an ambulance and the kid was taken to the hospital.
He was like, no, I can't hurt you.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was a police officer, so maybe he was, like, on duty at the time. So then when Malcolm was released from the hospital, he went back to Dennis's apartment to presumably thank him.
Oh, no.
And so then Dennis was like, come on in, man.
Stop it.
And they started drinking. He strangled him.
Is it only when he drinks he gets murderous?
I don't think so. I think it's more of a way to like, hey, come on, have a drink, get comfortable, sit on this couch, I'll be behind you. Or however, I don't know, that's speculation. But Malcolm fell asleep on the couch, so Dennis strangled him. He stowed him under the sink.
Well,
like in those
how
cabinets.
big is under your sink? Because I can only fit like 700 bottles of Clorox, which I feel like is too small for a body.
If there was nothing under my sink, I could probably fit under there. But I don't know how big this guy was.
Yeah.
Anyway, mid-1981, the landlord wants to renovate the flat, so he has to move out. And he's pretty, not upset about this, but he's like, come on, man, but I love this place.
Yeah, I have so many dead bodies I have to move.
Seriously.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, way to give me a chore, buddy. So
first of all, not even first of all, just of all. It's just like, this hobby is so laborious.
It is. Yeah.
I'm exhausted. Like, I can't. This is really bothering me.
Yeah. And he's doing them quick. Like, you got to stay on top of those dissections.
Yeah. I guess he doesn't really have friends and stuff.
So he moves into an attic flat at Cranley Gardens.
Terrible idea. You don't have floorboards. Just going to shove them in the crawl space.
And that is in Muswell Hill, which is, if you'll recall, his serial killer name was the Muswell Hill Murderer. So before moving, though, he had to dissect the latest body of...
Gotta get rid of that shit. It's a little incriminating.
Of Malcolm. It is a little incriminating. And he burned the last 5 bodies in another bonfire, topped with a tire.
Do you think his neighbors were like, God damn, stop burning tires?
Yeah.
It's bad for the ozone layer.
But it's also 1981. So he had already had all the other bodies dissected before this, so he only had to do Malcolm's, because, like I said, he was keeping on top of them, right?
Yeah, plan that shit.
Less of a chore.
Yeah.
So then, since he moved to an attic apartment and he had no access to a garden or floorboards, he didn't assault anyone for 2 months.
Oh, I know a way to curb your craziness.
Yeah.
Live there forever.
A little, well...
Okay.
2 months.
Okay, 2 months. And then he came up with a plan.
Yeah, and then he was like, you know what?
I gotta fix this
I gotta
shit.
get to some murdering.
Okay.
March 1982, he met 23-year-old John Howlett. He lured him back to his home to drink and watch a movie. It didn't say what movie. I did wonder.
Okay.
John fell asleep, and Dennis apparently did try to wake him up, but he couldn't. And so he was like, I guess I'll just strangle him then.
This is a sign.
Yeah. He attempted to strangle him, and then there was a struggle, because this guy woke up and was like, the fuck you doing?
Yeah.
And he tried to strangle Dennis back and was like fighting him back and stuff.
Oh.
And Dennis actually thought that he might lose.
Did he go like, psych, and like stop?
No.
Okay.
But he did eventually overpower him and strangled him with a furniture strap.
Oh, shit.
So then John started to breathe again, but he was still unconscious.
Oh, my God, that's creepy.
So for the next, 10 minutes, Dennis was trying to kill him unsuccessfully.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't know what he was trying.
Yeah.
But
I feel like he had a process.
Yeah.
Don't deviate.
Exactly. Don't deviate from your plan. So he eventually did go back to fill his bathtub with water and drown him in the tub.
That is a lot of work.
Yeah. May 1982, he met 21-year-old Carl Stoddard at a pub and lured him home to drink.
Naturally.
Yep. He let the guy sleep in a sleeping bag. So Carl eventually woke to being strangled, with Dennis loudly whispering over him, "Stay still."
What?
Yeah. This is coming from Dennis's trial. Carl lives.
Yay, Carl. Of course, Carl.
Right? Good for Carl. So Carl initially thought that the sleeping bag was around his neck and that Dennis was trying to free him from it. Like, that was what his first thought was. And he was going in and out of consciousness. He hears water running and then realizes that he's being submerged in the water. He gets his head above the water and screams, "No more, please, no more."
Oh, my God.
And he was submerged again. Dennis takes him out and puts his body on an armchair.
Oh, my God.
Where his dog, which they specify as a mongrel, starts licking Carl's face, and he realizes that Carl is still alive.
Oh, my God.
He was like, "Oh, no," and then, like, starts rubbing his arms and puts a blanket around him and
oh, my God.
revives him.
What the fuck? This guy's crazy. I mean, obviously he's crazy.
My first thought was that he gets that, like, instant regret, like, the maybe sexual gratification, and then, you know, like...
The buyer's remorse.
Yeah. So then he puts him to bed, and for 2 days he's coming in and out of consciousness.
Oh my gosh.
He eventually is, like, conscious, and Dennis tells him that the sleeping bag was wrapped around his neck. He was trying to save him.
Oh my gosh.
And then he put him in the water because he was in shock.
Did he... I wonder if he bought it.
Well, then he brought him to the train station to, like, "All right, bye." And he said, like, "Hope to see you again someday."
No.
Yeah. No, thank you.
No, I don't.
June 1982, he was promoted to executive officer.
Ooh, fancy pants.
Yeah, so moving on up.
Yeah.
He met 27-year-old Graham Allen attempting to hail a taxi, and he was like, "Hey, man, want to hang out?" I don't know who's
Were they, like, both hailing, and they were like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Oh, my.
Yeah.
It's a 90s sitcom meet cute.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think so. I think this guy was just, like, hailing a taxi, and he walks up like, "Hey, man, you want to grab a bite to eat?" And this guy's like, "Hell yeah." I don't know that for a
fact. Just
fact.
gonna go get something.
Because that's just how it sounded when I read it.
Okay, I'm good
But-
with it. I like it.
But who does that?
No one.
No one.
Serial killers.
If I was hailing a taxi and someone was like, "You want to go grab a bite to eat?" I'd be like, "Fucking no."
But that's because we have, like, the internet now, and we're more cautious.
I don't like it. I'm sorry, you met me on the street? No. I don't trust you until I've done a background check.
Streetwalker.
So this guy agrees to go get a meal with Dennis, and they go back to Dennis's house. He strangles him and keeps the body in his tub for 3 days before
Ew.
he dissects him on the kitchen floor.
Okay, well, I mean, he doesn't have floorboards.
Yeah, like, what else are you gonna do?
Oh my god, not kill people.
Final victim. Here we go.
Okay, here we are.
January 26, 1983, he meets 20-year-old Stephen Sinclair. He lures him home, strangles him, usual ritual of bathing him. He realized that the guy had bandages on his wrists where he had tried to kill himself,
Oh, no.
like, just
Yeah.
recently. He puts the body on the bed, surrounded by 3 stand-up mirrors, then lays next to it and, like, turns its head towards him
Stop it.
and, like, kisses it goodnight and
Ew.
sleeps next to it.
Why all the mirrors? This is too much detail.
'Cause he's a creep.
Yeah.
Then he dissects the body, per usual.
What the fuck? I'm still hung up on this, like, mirror thing in the bed.
So, a little
And
tidbit that I
why-
didn't say earlier
Okay.
was back before he had murdered anybody, he had a stand-up mirror that he would position, like, he would lay on the bed naked, spread eagle or whatever, and he would position the mirror so that he could see himself but not his head.
Ugh.
And he would, like, touch himself, and that
Ugh.
could give him the gratification of
Ah.
being the one being touched and also touching somebody.
What the? It's creeping me out.
Right? That could be where the, like, 3
Why he
stand-up
had the
mirrors came in.
Yeah, why you have the mirrors around her?
Yeah. So all the bodies here, this new apartment, he dissected, wrapped in plastic bags, and stored them, since he didn't have floorboards, in a wardrobe, a drawer beneath the tub, and a tea chest. And then the smaller bits of flesh and internal organs and small bones, he flushed them down the toilet.
Ah, yes.
He would boil the head, hands, and the feet to remove the flesh.
The smell alone has to be so bad.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You're keeping bodies in your fucking apartment.
Well, that too, but then you're cooking them and making them hot.
don't know if it would smell worse, though, cooking it. It would probably smell all right, like meat.
No, but it's like rotten meat.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's probably pretty gross. I'm kind of sticking by the theory that he doesn't have a sense of smell. Like,
Yeah, that's the only way we
or
can get
like-
around this.
yeah, very little of a sense of smell.
Okay.
So then, February 4th, 1983, he writes a letter to his landlord complaining that the drains were clogged.
I wonder why. 'Cause
I
you're
know.
shoving body parts down them.
Fucking right. February 8th, so just 4 days later, a Dino Rod employee named Michael responded to the call and saw that the drain was packed with a, quote, flesh-like substance and numerous small bones.
Oh my god.
And he calls his boss. Why wouldn't you call the police?
I don't know.
I mean,
but
I
you
guess
need-
I'd call my boss. So the boss meets with Dennis and another tenant that live below him, and they're like, hey,
So-
man, let's discuss this.
Yeah.
We found this stuff, looks like flesh, and he kind of shows them. Dennis is quoted as saying, it looks to me like someone's been flushing down their Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Yuck.
fucking gross.
Yeah.
I want to know the other guy's reaction. Like, did he look at Dennis like, the fuck? Like, you're not freaked out by this fleshy substance?
Yeah.
Or anything? Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. Feigned shock.
Yeah. Oh, what is that? It's not from my toilet.
Yeah. I'm certainly not shitting out bones
Yeah.
and my insides.
Oy.
So then at 7:30 in the morning, because it was already kind of later in that evening that this had happened. So then at 7:30 in the morning, they go back to fix the drains, and they're all mysteriously unclogged.
Weird.
Yeah, so he was just like, I'm going to do this myself.
Oh.
I don't know.
Okay.
So they found a couple of bones, and it looked like they were from a hand, so they called the cops. And
Oh.
they gathered evidence and gathered whatever they could of the fleshy-like substance and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And one piece of flesh was from, according to like a forensic guy,
Yeah.
was from a neck with a ligature mark on it.
Oh,
Like
god
it
damn,
had
that is
the-
very specific.
So then 3 officers go to Dennis's flat, and they're like, hey man, can we chat about these pipes? Because that was kind of suspicious.
Yeah.
And he's like-
we need to talk.
Yeah, and he's like, sure, come on in.
Oh no.
So
Have
they,
a drink. Or
Right.
listen to some music.
They said that there was an overpowering odor of rotting flesh.
Dead people, yeah.
Yeah. So then they were like, hey, so we discovered that the stuff, that fleshy substance in the pipe was actually human flesh. And Dennis is quoted as saying, good grief, how awful.
Golly gee.
Yeah, my.
Yeah.
And the police officer says, don't mess about, where's the rest of the body? And he replied calmly that it was in a nearby wardrobe. So they arrested him, and he confessed everything.
Oh my god.
And he told them where more body parts were found, or could be found
Yeah.
in his apartment, which was like all in his little hidey holes. They asked him what his motive was, and he said, I'm hoping you'll tell me that.
Fuck that shit.
So he swears that he never had sex with the bodies, but he had,
For sure had sex with the bodies.
no, he had intercrural sex. I don't really know how to say that.
But
But it's where you, I had to look it up, and it's apparently when you stick your Peter between the thighs,
what?
and yeah, you just like
Okay.
do their thighs.
Okay.
But he didn't
Whatever.
penetrate them.
Like, that's really, at this point, so much better. Like, they're dead, right?
I know, semantics.
Yeah.
So then his ritual was to bathe and shave the bodies and then apply makeup to their blemishes to make them what he thought was the perfect, whatever form, I guess.
Fucking creepy.
He'd put socks and underwear on them and then would stage the body or drape it over himself and talk to it, and he would do it.
I don't like that part.
Yeah, he would do it for as long as the body would keep before it would start to
Ew,
decompose.
ew, 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 ew. My overactive imagination. I'm just thinking of, like, you know when you reach in a bowl of fruit and you grab, like, a peach and it's too ripe and your thumb goes in?
Oh.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
that's gross.
Yep. That's what I'm thinking of. This is why you can't tell me this shit. Okay?
Well, listen, you decided to start this podcast. Or we, I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, don't yell at me, first of all. And second of all, I think it was a collective decision.
So then, February 11th, 1983, he was officially charged with murder and convicted of 6 counts of murder and 2 of attempted murder. He got life in prison, and he wrote a book and was in a bunch of interviews. Like, he's very open about all this.
I'm hoping you'll tell me.
Yeah.
What a fucking creep.
Yeah. He died from a blood clot after surgery complications on May 12th, 2018.
Holy Holy shit, how old was he?
God damn it.
It's
1945, 2018.
Yeah, we don't have to do the
Math. That's the story of the kindly killer, or the...
Wait, why is he the kindly? Because he was like, come have a drink.
I imagine because, he was really good at luring people back to his house, so maybe everyone was like, he was so nice. Except for the part where he murdered everybody.
Yeah.
And also the British Jeffrey Dahmer, because...
Yeah, he didn't really eat anybody, though.
No, he boiled them, but he...
Yeah. That was more out of a necessity to get rid of the shit, right?
Yeah, I think it was more because it was all the, demographic that he was going for. It was the younger boys.
Yeah, and he was, storing body parts all throughout his apartment.
Yeah.
Wow, that is awful.
Yeah.
That is terrifying. Goddamn.
Goddamn.
All right, on that note, should we do our...
Goddamn.
Yeah, let's hear the goddamn for this week.
Yeah, who we got?
We got Armand.
Armand.
By the way, just so you guys know, you should send us your goddams, because right now we're using our friends.
That's true. This is our friend Armand.
Yeah, he's legit.
He's pretty cool, if he's listening.
Better be listening, Armand. Okay, here we go. Here it is.
I said, God damn.
Oh, I said goddamn.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Ow, I hit my face on the mic again.
Oh, jeez.
It's all good. Okay, guys, send us your goddams, please.
Yes.
So we can shout you out and talk about you on the podcast. I should really stop singing when I talk.
And also follow us on Twitter at ISGD Podcast, or email us any discrepancies.
Email us what your theories are on some of the unsolved stuff that we're talking about on this shit. I want to hear what you guys think.
Yeah.
I want to hear those theories from our listeners. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Because we miss shit all the time. We're sitting together and we're like, and
Yeah.
we both get hung up on the same thing. So we might miss a detail that you guys hear. So
I like it.
Email us.
Yeah.
We want to know that you're listening. So please go ahead and rate and review us on iTunes so we know how we're doing. And the more you rate us, the more that, iTunes will suggest us to other people and shit. And so, more people will listen, and then we'll be like, yay, we made a podcast.
The fuck is that?
I don't know, but I'm standing up now. It's a goddamn cat. Oh my god, that's terrifying. All right, so, rate us on iTunes. Well, any app, really.
Yeah, do that.
Oh, also, if you do that, rate us on any app and, send us a screenshot in an email with your mailing address, and we'll send you some stickers.
Oh, yeah. That'll be fun.
Yep.
And then you guys can put it on your whatever.
Yeah, you can put it on your car, your phone, whatever.
On yourself?
Put it. Yeah, on yourself.
Yeah.
You could.
Put it on your cat. Don't put it on your cat.
Ugh, gets so much hair all over it.
It would get so much hair all of it.
You guys are awesome. We love you so much. And until next week,
Bye.
bye.